Assalamu alaikum. Welcome to Salam Media. It is the first show of 2023, Friday the 20th of January. And well, we're going to be making a quite a meal of it, chatting to guests from across the globe this evening, touching on all things sports. We're going to be starting off with some football news. We're going to be chatting about the African Super League tournament that will be launching later this year. Interesting thoughts on that. Then we're going to go back into time. We're going to go back into history, chatting about the life story of Kasim Jabbar, the legendary Western Province and Cyrus Ramov. Later on, we're going to be chatting to Mpo Motloane, the football journalist, who's going to give us a bit of insight on what we can expect in this weekend's DSTV Premiership action. But right now, we're going to be chatting to Micky Junior all the way from Ghana. He's a journalist who's going to be giving us insight on the groundbreaking new African Super League tournament that's going to be made up of 24 elite clubs from 16 CAF associations. Good evening, Mikey. Thanks for joining me on the show this evening. Always a pleasure having your insight, man.
Thank you so much for the opportunity. It's my pleasure to be here. And greetings to all your listeners.
Well, Mikey, we've seen earlier this week the CAF Confederate, the CAF president, Patrice Motsepe, has now launched the pioneering Africa Super League. It's a project that's unprecedented scale that's set to change the face of African football. It's going to be interesting. How do you think African countries would be taken to this tournament?
Thank you so much once again. I think that, yes, like we all know, this Africa Super League was launched in Tanzania last year, couple of months before the end of the year, which I happened to be there as well to attend that press conference. Patrice Motsepe was in attendance. He's the president of CAF as well as that of FIFA and some executives who were all present before this competition was launched in Tanzania. Well, when it was launched, there were a lot of backlash, our African game. There were a lot of backlash from those who were in favor of it, and then even those who were not in favor of it. So whatever it is, at the end of the day, it has been launched, and now the formalities are beginning to come out. There are a few that once I spoke to people in CAF, they have given me some of the information that I've been sharing lately. And yeah, I think that is where we are now. The competition is going to start in August 2023, this year. We are some few months away. And so, because of that, CAF and as well as FIFA officials have started visiting some of the um, pre-selected countries, sorry, pre-selected teams that they will start this competition. I am told that 8 of them are going to start in the first edition, where they are going to be put in 2 groups of 4. So that is the format for now. 8 teams are starting. They're going to be put in 2 groups of 4. 2 days ago, CAF and FIFA officials made it to Cairo. They visited the greatest club in Africa, which I support, Ali, El Al Ali. They visited them. They looked at their infrastructures. They looked at their facilities. They looked at their teams, both the youth, the senior side, the headquarters. They also looked at the stadiums, the proposed stadiums that they are going to use for this competition. And so now, as at today, I understand that the FIFA and the CAF officials are in Morocco. They are visiting Wydad Club Athletic, and then right from there, and they will make the trip to other 5 more countries to visit the teams there. So for now, the competition is launched. Inspections and visits are ongoing from CAF and FIFA officials. So that is where we are for now.
Look, it's going to be quite exciting. 24 clubs, 3 regions, 8 clubs per region, maximum of 3 clubs per country. North, Central, West, Southern, and Eastern African clubs will be participating in this tournament. Who are some of the clubs that you certainly looking forward to?
Yeah, thank you so much. Once this idea came out, one of those people who has been following this mainly with all eyes, and I'm so much interested in it because we all know that this competition, trying to start in Europe, was rejected, and now they passed it on to Africans. I don't know whether, because of Africa, sorry to say, but we don't have enough funds. So for us, anything that involves a lot of money, we are so much interested in, especially our leaders or our officials or the people at at the topmost positions. So the teams that were pre-selected, Ali, of course, and there is Wydad, there is ES Tunis, there is Hurria AC, Hearts of Oak from Ghana, Accra, and the Mamelodi Sundowns in your country, one of the most respected teams in Africa. Then we also have Simba Sport Club, one of the giants in Tanzania. And then now I understand that TP Mazembe has been drafted in to conclude the eighth for now. So we expect visits from the leaders in the coming days. They are going to be in DR Congo, Lubumbashi for that inspection. So those are the eight teams that has been pre-selected for now, and it will more will depend based on the visit and the inspection from the leaders if they are going to make it to the final eight or there are going to be any replacement. But I think that where we are now, these eight are going to start for now.
No, definitely, it's going to be interesting to see how it unfolds. South Africa is filled with a wealth of clubs, from North Africa right down to the southern tip of Africa. But now
Mm.
talking about the one thing that would have many people interested in this tournament, the prize money of the African Super League will be at 100 million USD, with the winner then receiving 11.5 million. Show me something bigger to play for.
Well, like I told you earlier, our competition in Africa doesn't really has a lot of money in it because of could you even believe that there are some clubs in Africa they play football with less than 100 fans in the stadium, less than 50 fans. How can the clubs raise money to take care of their finances, and paying of salaries, bonuses, and all that? So I think that this competition, with the idea, with the great idea in quote from Mr. Motepe, trying to make it a point that all the clubs in Africa need some financial banking. They need to be stable. They need to have a lot of money in their accounts. Africa need to have the best of infrastructures, have the best of pitches, attract the top and the quality players from around the globe to come and exhibit their talents in our league. So this idea came from Mutepe and then the leaders who are at it. And now I am told that there is an Italian company which for now the name isn't out. But what I understand is there's a company in Italy who is gonna, finance this competition. They are gonna take up to 49% of they will hold the 49% of the shares in this competition with the 51, shared between CAF and FIFA. And what this means is that, like you rightly mentioned, it's going to be 100 million US dollars, which is going to, which would, we will see it even rise in the cost of the next 4 years. And it means that the winner obviously will receive a lot of United States for American dollars. And this money, will cater and do a lot of good to these clubs. Honestly, most of the clubs in Africa are struggling. Also, this company that's going to take up this competition, will provide accommodation. It's going to, provide feeding. It's going to provide transportation. Is going to provide logistics for all these clubs. To make sure that the competition runs smoothly. We can all tell that there are some clubs in Africa even when they are playing the CAF Champions League and Confederation Cup, at some point in time they have to pull out. There are some times that your team is ready to host them and they don't show up at the airport to arrive because of financial issues. So this is where we are now. The money is good, 100 million US dollars. Earlier, people were wondering where the money is going to come from because honestly, CAF doesn't have that money in their account lying down somewhere that they're going to pick and use. But Motepe has been doing a lot of brilliant work behind the scene. And he's managed to bring on board, together with FIFA, this Italian company who are bringing in 100 million US dollars to make sure that all the clubs are able to attract quality and best of players. And so I think that this is where we are now, and we really have to hope for the best.
No, definitely. We're certainly looking forward to it. But switching our attention now to the African Nations Championship, what have you made of the tournament thus far? And in all honesty, do you feel like South Africa has missed?
Of course, honestly, man, we have when we are talking about one of the giants in African football, we can talk without mentioning South Africa. I personally have a lot of love for South Africa. I I do visit occasionally when I get a time to watch some of the games. I have made some very good and nice friends over there. Of course, you are one of them. And I think that yes, South Africa is missed in this chan because we know with we know with the passion of South Africans when it comes to these tournaments. We know how their fans, they provide a lot of support, a lot of love to their clubs. I mean, their national sides when they are playing, and even at the club side as well, because we have seen that with Mamelodi Sundowns, with Chiefs, with Pirates when they are playing in Confederation Cup and Champions League. So yes, South Africa is missed greatly. I feel that you have a lot of good talent, a lot of good players in the league, and this is the stage that one of even if not all of them, some of them could be seen, could be scouted, could make it to the major or the big leagues in Africa. So for me, it's unfortunate South Africa is not taking part in this tournament. And we all missed their vuvuzela, how when they blow it, we all enjoy the sound of it. So it's unfortunate South Africa didn't make it, but we can just hope for the best and pray that in the next edition they are gonna take part of it. Now to the tournament, assessment. I think that you know, honestly, in Africa, our competitions right from the start, the excitement isn't there. Maybe maybe mostly you will see with the host nations or host countries that a lot of fans troop to the stadium. But if you look at the other sides, because of one thing that one of the challenges in Africa, transportation, when people have to travel, they have to now look for visas and all that. So it makes our competition somehow lack fans when it started. But I think that the performance on the pitch generally hasn't been bad. Just that we are not seeing so much because maybe it is early days yet. I think that we are now finishing up on second round of games. Then we can now
Mm.
move to the third before to the quarters. So we are only hoping that as the tournament progresses, there's going to be a lot of excitement for it. And I'm also sad that some of the journalists are not showing so much interest in it. But I think that uh, we haven't seen so much goals yet. But so far, I think so good.
Well, I mean, it's going to be quite interesting to see how the rest of this tournament unfolds. But who's some of the teams that you're looking out for, and who's your money on to take the tournament by storm?
I think that I am really looking out for Senegal. I think that we all know the kind of the kind of improvement and a lot of work that they are doing over there. And I think that Algeria too hasn't been bad. Um, Algeria as the host nation, a lot of fan support. I think they have quality players in the league. And Morocco, they put out, they have their political issues. I don't want to go there. But I think that Ghana will also depend on their quarterfinal, who they meet, and then we'll see how the tournament go. But I think that surprisingly, so far, Uganda really has surprised me. Their coach, Micho, who happens to be my friend,
Mm.
I think that he has also put up a great team, and they are doing so well. But if you ask me to, I think that Algeria are the favorites for now.
Well, we're gonna have to wait and see how this one unfolds. Unfortunately, that's all we have time for this evening, Mikey. But listen, it was such a pleasure chatting to you again and getting up to speed with everything happening into the world of football on the African continent. I look forward to chatting to you real soon again, and hopefully we can unfold and unpack everything that's happening in the footballing fraternity. Mikey, until next time, brother.
Thank you so much. It's a pleasure for me to be here, and I think that it's a great show, and I'll be happy to join again. Thank you.
Definitely looking forward to it. Have a great weekend yourself. That was Micky Junior, the Ghanaian-based football journalist, telling us what exactly is happening on the African continent in terms of football, breaking it down from the African Super League that will be made up of 24 elite clubs from 16 CAF associations to the Chan 2023 tournament that is currently underway, giving us a breakdown of everything. It's quite interesting to see what's happening in the world of football and how things are unfolding on the African continent. Well, from the round ball to the oval ball, we're going to be taking a quick break. And when we come back, we're going to be chatting about a book that documents the life story of Springbok legend Kasim Jabbar.